that I don't want to go into it in too much detail. In fact, I feel like we've been bombarded with all this information about how we're not sleeping well, we're not sleeping at the right times, we're not sleeping enough, to the point where people now have sleep anxiety. If they can't sleep well for a night, they're feeling overwhelmed by that, and it's sort of now they're stressed about not being able to sleep, which is making it harder to sleep, etc. I really want to focus on what we can do to anchor these systems properly. So let's think about what happens when we do this correctly and how to do it correctly. When we wake up, our eyes open. Now, if we're in a dark room, there isn't enough light to trigger the correct timing of this cortisol melatonin thing, these rhythms. You might say, well, why won't any light do it? Well, it turns out that these neurons in our eye that set the circadian clock and then allow our circadian clock to set all the clocks of all the cells and organs and tissues of our body responds best to a particular quality of light and amount of light. And those are the qualities of light and amount of light that come from sunlight. So these neurons, what they're really looking for, although they don't have a mind of their own, is the sun at what we call low solar angle. The eye and the nervous system don't know anything about sunrises or sunsets. It only knows the quality of light that comes in when the sun is low in the sky. The system evolved so that when the sun is low in the sky, there's a particular contrast between yellows and blues that triggers the activation of these cells. So if you wake up and you look at your phone or your computer, or you flip on a bunch of artificial lights, will these cells be activated? And the answer is sort of. They'll be activated, but not in the optimal way. What you want to do is get sunlight in your eyes as close to waking as possible. Now, I want to be really clear about this because I've talked about it on other podcasts when I was a guest, and I've talked about it on my Instagram feed, and there seem to be the same questions coming up again and again. These neurons don't know sunlight per se. They don't know sunrise or sunset for that matter. They don't know artificial light from sunlight.